matter. Schedule an appointment with one of
Healthier nose and throat for relief. Crews continue to work with an accident. Eastbound 74 at Coleraine. Right lane is blocked off. Traffic backs up close to North Bend. You're looking at an extra 15 minutes to make it to 75. Southbound 75 continues heavy in and out of Laughlin. Northbound 71's ramp to westbound lateral broken down on the left-hand side. Then some heavy traffic on North 71 towards Red Bank. Coming up next, a man who, well, wait, there's a writer's strike, so I've got nothing to say. I'm just kidding. I don't have a writer. Thank goodness the judge has something to say. Chuck Ingram on 55 KRC, the talk station.
827 coming up on 828 here, 55 KRC, the talk station. Apologies to Judge Anna Napolitano right out of the gate. My video camera is not working today, Your Honor. I apologize for that. Joe Strecker is going to try to come in here and fix it while we're talking, but at least hear you. So happy Wednesday, sir. It's always great.
Can you see me as well as hear me?
Oh yeah, you're coming in fine. You never have technical issues on your side. I'm waving at you. You just can't tell that I am. Great having you on. Judging Freedom, find him online, Facebook, and of course, judgenap.com. Get the column, which comes out tonight. And I know the answer to this question. I've been joking all morning, Your Honor. Your name of your column, it's a rhetorical question. Does government believe in the Constitution? And I've been pointing out all morning, if you listen to Judge Napolitano enough, you already know the answer to that question.
Yes. I mean, the reason, the trigger for the column is that a section of the FISA statute sunsets in December. And the government, which has become so addicted to spying on people without search warrants, that's the section that permits that, is trying mightily to lobby Congress to vote to extend it. And one of the ways, there you are. Wow. One of the ways was that Strecker with you? It's the first time I've seen him.
In and out. He's like a thief in the night, Your Honor, but at least he got it done. We didn't have to call Chicago or San Antonio to get somebody out here to do it, which is usually the case. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but yes, I can see
no,
that.
quite all right. So in an effort to persuade members of Congress that Section 702 should be extended beyond Christmas, 702 permits warrantless spying on foreign persons who are physically or digitally present in America. And of course, it permits warrantless spying on the Americans with whom they communicate. In an effort to persuade Congress that the FBI has not abused this authority, the FBI revealed last week that in 2022, it only spied on 120,000 Americans, only 120,000 without warrants. Now, a senior in social studies in a public high school knows that that number should be zero.
Zero, yeah.
Because the Fourth Amendment requires warrants, but the government has gotten so addicted to warrantless spying that it now boasts about the number of people who are victimized by this. Now, here's the way it works. It used to be they could only listen to your conversation or monitor your texts and emails if you communicated with a foreign agent. Now they will do so if you communicate with a foreign person. So if I call my cousins in Florence, then they can listen to that conversation, and then that triggers the opportunity to listen to every conversation I have out to the 6th degree. So I talk to my mother, they can listen to all her conversations. She talks to one of her lady friends, they can listen to that person's conversations. Do that out to the 6th degree.
That's literally everybody.
All the people on whom they do this, and it's 300 million conversations can be surveilled without a search warrant. That's what the FBI wants the Congress to authorize.
Okay. I think you've already answered it with your hypothetical about talking to your mom or rather your family members in Florence. I have a guy I used to go to church with. He is now a French citizen. He's been married to a French girl and has been a French citizen now for a couple of decades. I communicate with him via Facebook, social media. We just occasional, hey, Darren, how you doing? How's the family? Nothing more than that. And I actually have had a conversation with him. He went to a merchant in Paris and bought something for me. He stood there and did the haggling while I was at home here in the United States with my credit card in hand. So I worked through him. That's enough for FISA to listen into my conversation.
That's enough for FISA to listen in on all of your conversations. And of course, because you and I talk like now every Wednesday morning, I'm sure they've been listening to me anyway.
Of course.
They can listen in on my conversations. So this leap, this 6-degree leap, is not authorized by the statute, but it's authorized by the FISA court, a secret court at which only the government appears before judges. The government persuaded the judges on the FISA court to allow this to go on to the 6th degree. All of this started with 702 that permits the warrantless spying. When 702 last expired, you'll know why I'm laughing in a minute. In 2018, I got on Fox and Friends. I was at Fox at the time. I looked in the camera. I said, Mr. President, they want you to sign an extension of 702. Don't do it. This is the authority they used to spy on you before you were president. He tweets, I just saw Judge Snap on Fox and Friends. I'm not signing the extension. Whew. Within 15 minutes, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, Mike Pence were on their way to the Oval Office to say, don't listen to Judge Napolitano. He's just a crazy libertarian. He thinks the Constitution means what it says, Mr. President. Here's the way it really works. And then he sent a message to me saying, I had to sign the extension.
Wow. Well, okay. We're both lawyers, and obviously we have civil rights violation, admitted civil rights violation in the form of these 120 warrantless searches that they acknowledge. If you or I or any of my listeners were on this list of 120,000 who've been subjected to warrantless searches, would they not have a civil rights violation that they could file or an action they could file?
Courts have not upheld a single one, have not upheld a single one. The cases have never reached the Supreme Court of the United States. There are many journalists who have been caught up in this, who have argued that this is a violation of their First Amendment rights, that the government has no business surveilling their communications with their sources, and the courts won't hear it. Everybody's afraid of these spies, including the members of Congress. The spies, the intelligence community obviously has dirt on members of Congress.
All of them, because you know damn well every single member of Congress at some point has been communicating with someone in foreign land. I mean, that's just part of the nature of their job.
Correct. Justice Scalia, the late great Justice Scalia, told me he was convinced that the intelligence community was spying on the court.
That's frightening stuff there, Your Honor. Chilling, to say the least. And of course, a complete violation of the constitutional rights and privileges that we enjoy, and protections, I should underscore, of this reading, this interpretation that allows them to go and listen to conversations now between my mom and me here within the greater Cincinnati area, just because I've had a conversation with my friend Darren in France. That is an interpretation of this section. You just mentioned that, a FISA court interpretation.
Correct.
There has been no challenge to that interpretation because of the secret nature of the court. They've completely eviscerated the idea of a constitutional challenge.
So I suggested to the man in the Oval Office at the time that FISA be amended to have a defender of the Constitution in the courtroom to challenge the government, so that it's a real court with real adversity. It's not just the judge and the government.
Right.
He loved the idea, never got to first base. Never got to first base because the spies who want the system to stay the way it is probably have dirt on the people who would propose the defender of the Constitution. Then he said to me, how would you like that job? I said, oh, I would love a job that was called defender of the Constitution.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. You certainly have an unlimited legal practice there, considering how many FISA court hearings and how many of these warrantless searches they issue. Wow. Well, so what I mean, I hate to reach this point of concluding we are in a place of desperation, but I mean, the way you've outlined this and the challenges and hurdles, whether it's threats from those that have the dirt on people, or it's people who are blind to the realities of the Constitution and think it's more important that they have this unlimited search power in the name of protecting us or whatever. The idea that we can't challenge the interpretation and the breadth and scope of this constitutional violation, we're left without recourse, it seems.
Well, the only recourse is to vote out of office the people who keep authorizing this, but we'd be voting out of office 90% of the members of Congress, or persuade a president who believes that the Constitution means what it says, either to veto this stuff or not to do it. And remember, the NSA is in the military, so they work directly for the president. So he could stop all this with the stroke of a pen. The FBI is in the DOJ. They work for the president. He could stop all this with the stroke of a pen. Now, this president is not going to do that. A Donald Trump who has been victimized personally by all of this stuff, he might do it.
Well, one more thing we need to consider when we're choosing our presidential choices, Your Honor, but I'd certainly like a definitive statement along those lines from any candidate. Like, yes, I will be the guy who ends the constitutional violations, which apparently are going on literally every single day.
Yes. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. And when I raise this issue, I mean, the conversation you and I are having is a mature, serious conversation intended to illuminate this issue to your listening audience. Most of the other conversations I have about this are, oh, forget about it. Our privacy's gone. Why are you beating a dead horse? I mean, the American public needs to know this. So the government is about to announce today another 300 million in materials going to Ukraine. We know that the government believes that Ukraine's going to lose the war from the secret documents that have been revealed. And still, there's no uproar. The government's been lying to us. The government's been spying on us. The government's been killing people in Ukraine. No uproar.
Oh, come on, Your Honor. There are TikTok videos to watch. There's more important things going on in the world. You and your pesky Constitution and its protections and limitations. Well,
some cop in Texas communicated with me via TikTok and said, Judge, would you explain to me if I, as a Texas cop, have to enforce the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms regulations? I took an oath to uphold the law, not to uphold bureaucratic regulations. And I responded, he did not. And it went viral with hundreds of thousands of responses. Wonderful cop that I've never met. I only know him through TikTok.
Hey, Your Honor, it's called prosecutorial discretion. You know, I've been caught speeding and they have let me go. They don't have to give you a ticket. It's the same thing. Limited resources. Sorry, federal government, we can't help you out with that one. Use your own resources. I think that's a fair response. Judge Napolitano, I wish we were able to end on a more positive note, although the humor was well appreciated on that one, given the status we are with our Constitution. The answer to the question, no. Does government believe in the Constitution? The column comes out at night at midnight. Judging Freedom, find them on Facebook, judgenap.com. Your Honor, until next Wednesday, I always appreciate our conversations, and we'll keep telling the truth as long as people keep listening.
Thank you, Brian. All the best, my friend.
Best of health. 840, 55 KRC. The talk station, that pesky Constitution.